Hey guys, welcome. We're going to look at some special derivative rules in the next couple of videos. Today we're going to talk about the product rule. And so the product rule, you can see here we have two functions. We have f of x and we have g of x. All right, and I'm going to take a little bit of time and go through where this rule comes from and how it works and why it works. And then we'll do some examples. So the only reason any derivatives work is because of the definition. So a lot of times when we are finding new derivatives, we'll go to the definition. So what this is the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h, g of x plus h, minus f of x and g of x. And that's all over h. So that should look familiar to you. Okay. But now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of trickery, if you will. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this same thing. I'm going to do a little bit of magic of television here. Okay, so notice what's happened here is we've added and subtracted the same thing. So we still have the same fraction here. Because this essentially is adding 0 to this fraction up here. And so now what we're going to do from this step is we're going to factor out. We're going to factor out f of x plus h. And what's left is g of x plus h minus g of x. Plus, now what's common over here, that's g of x. Oh boy. So g of x, and that's factored out. We have f of x plus h minus f of x. Now, if any of this is going too fast for you, please pause it and see if you can figure out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip a step here. Notice because these are two fractions, I'm going to put them both over h. Okay. Now I know this is a big mess and things may not be going very smoothly for us, but what I want you to notice is that this right here is g prime of x. That's the definition. And this right here is the definition of f prime of x. So I have this and I have this, and as h goes to 0, that's just f of x. So we have f of x, g prime of x, plus g of x, f prime of x. Okay, and so I'm going to do some algebra here and adjust this for us. Okay, so what I want you to take away from this is that the derivative of f of x, g of x, so when we multiply them, equals f prime of x, g of x, plus f of x, g prime of x. Okay, so these two things here are the same. And now this is something that we're going to use a lot this year. So you will have to know how to do this. I hope that you take the time to understand where this comes from, but also take the time to learn how it's used. All right, so let's put that into practice. We're going to find the derivative of x squared sine of x. When you first start to do this, it might be well worth it, calling this f of x and this g of x. And let's go back to this mess. Oh man, that is a mess. And let's bring this over here. So just to remind ourselves what we're doing. Oh, that is not what I was expecting. There we go. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, so now we're just going to fill this in. What's the derivative of f prime? or the derivative of f prime, we all know is 2x. So f prime of x equals 2x. G of x is sine of x plus x squared cosine of x. And unfortunately, that's really all we can do with this. You know, sometimes it might be worthwhile factoring here. But in general, we're not going to simplify anything. We're just going to leave it like this. All you have to do is follow this idea right here. Take the derivative of the first one first. Take the derivative of the second one second. Okay, and then put it in. Notice that in here, x squared is there, and sine of x is there. So those two pieces are still there, right? And again, and we're not going to simplify. We're just going to leave it like this.